All right, Shalom. I'm going to start off giving all glory and praises to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Qadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations to the Akims, the brothers and the Aquas, the few sisters out here pushing this truth. It's the brother Yashar representing the camp. Children of light coming back to you on a Friday night. While most people are out and about having fun, doing things under the sun, us true prophets are bringing out this word day by day. Things are happening all across the country, all across the globe. And one thing that we can for sure say, because we have the truth, is all these things are happening because of Bible prophecy. So with that being said, back at another edition of Exposing the Elitist. Just a little playlist I'm doing, just a little mini playlist that I'm doing. And, as you can see, this book, The Willie Lynch Letter in the Making of a Slave. Definitely recommend this to you Akims. It's only 30 pages long. And you get more in tune with Willie Lynch, about Willie Lynch. Let me just introduce him to y'all real quick. I'm gonna read this first paragraph. It says, the infamous Willie Lynch letter gives both African and Caucasian students and teachers some insight concerning the brutal and inhumane psychology behind the African slave trade, the materialistic viewpoint of Southern plantation owners that slavery was a quote-unquote business. See that? See how they used us as an asset? Because in business, you have what? You have assets. You have liabilities. So they use us as what? Assets. And the whole Willie Lynch, the reason he came up with the idea of how to successfully train your slaves into producing the most out of them, because think about it, we the 12 tribes of Israel. We the best of everything. Workers. We the strongest. We the fastest. We the smartest. We the most talented. Everything. We look the best, everything. So they had to condition the slaves to conform to Esau's agenda. And Willie Lynch came through and said, stop beating and killing y'all assets, turning them into liabilities. What you want to do is make more out of your slaves, all right? So he basically gave them game, all right? So you brothers can look him up on your time because, just something you can do. I can't even go to the Wikipedia on this phone. I just can't wait till I get 2 devices. Without further ado, so we're going to be speaking on how Esau took away our pure language. He didn't take it away because we still got it. He silenced our pure language. Yes, the Hebrew, the Lashawan Qadash, the holy tongue. All right, so I'm going to read from the page 22 of the Willie Lynch letter. The subtitle says Controlled Language. It says crossbreeding completed. For further severance from their original beginning, and this is Willie Lynch talking, we must completely annihilate the mother tongue. To who? To both the new nigger and the new mule. Because when they say mule, they classify a nigger and a mule. They use it as like metaphorical. Because mules, you teach them how to do this, teach them how to do that. They conform to you as an animal. Exactly how Esau views us as animals. So I'm gonna start over. It says crossbreeding completed. For further severance from their original beginning, we must completely annihilate the mother tongue to both the new nigger and the new mule and institute a new language that involves the new life's work of both. Language is a peculiar institution. It leads to the heart of a people. The more a foreigner knows about the language of another country, the more he is able to move through all levels of that society. Right. So Esau knew about our Hebrew tongue. He knew how powerful it was, right? That's why he beat that out of us, all right? That's why we couldn't read on plantations, because think about it. We had Bibles on plantations. That's why we couldn't read for numerous generations, because Esau already knew. If we get a hold to that Bible, we're going to find out who we are. We find out who we are, we're going to find out our language. We're going to find out our heritage. We're going to find out our power. Esau couldn't have that. But it's a reason that we lost all that in the first place. It ain't because Esau just took it from us, is because of the curses. So let's go to the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28, starting at verse 47. Deuteronomy 28 and 47. It says, because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with the gladness of heart for the abundance of all things, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee. And we saw that in the what? In the transatlantic slave the transatlantic slave trade, which brought slaves mostly westward, and the sub-Saharan slave trade, which took slaves where? I don't want to get it wrong. It's been a while. It's been a minute since I looked at that. The sub-Saharan slave trade took slaves through the, it was like that. It was like a slave route. But what, the Mediterranean, yeah, I want to, you brothers look it up, all right? Because I don't want to say something wrong, right? But between those two slave trades, that was us serving our punishment for going off against the Lord. Verse 48, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness. See that? Matter of fact, look at the front page of this book. You got a Judite woman with her breast out. You see that right there? That's a Judite woman with her breast out. Shall we say more? That's nakedness. Oh, but she got a bottom piece on. Nigga, her breast out. It's nakedness. It's nudity. All right? When we was on them slave ships packed together, there wasn't no living conditions. We was among mice and bugs, feces. We was shackled up, head, feet, toe. Unless your ass was one row in that motherfucking boat, your ass was fully shackled, nigga. And yeah, talking to the man in the camera too, me too. Verse 48, therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. Because when you a slave, you just want what? You just want to be free. If I was free, I could get my own house. I could buy my own land. I could have my own wife. I wouldn't have to be subject to massa. Well, guess what, nigga? Since the majority of your people went off, yes, you do got to be subject to massa. You got to pay your part. You got to pay basically your jail sentence, which is slavery that the Most High put on us. It says, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Now that's mentally and physically. Because if you look back in the slaveries, what was they doing? In the slavery times, what was they doing? They was putting yokes of iron around our neck. You would have a metal rod, whatever, pole. While you actually have 3 slaves, 1 yoke. You have a nigga right next to you, 2 yokes. You have a nigga right next to him, 3 yokes. And while y'all all walking together like that, shackled up, and if you move your head up, he gonna feel all that. And he gonna be fucking mad at you. That's the type of conditions we was in. So Esau, we on your ass in the kingdom. Boy, you played your motherfucking self. Verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth. Who was that? Talking about who? Christopher Columbus and his Spanish conquistadors. Or they call them Spanish missionaries, right? They was on a mission. All right. That's who that a nation of fierce continents. Because why does it say fierce continents? Look how they came. They came with guns. They came with swords, with armor. Our people didn't have no guns. Our people had bow and arrows. We had armor, but we was comely people. We was peaceful people. Gad, Reuben, the Native Americans, they was peaceful when Columbus and them came. What you think the whole Thanksgiving about? Really, it should be called Thanksgiving, right? So in verse 50, when it says a nation of fierce continents, right, because they brought rape, robbery, and murder to our people, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young, right? Because if your ass even make it to 50, 60 years old as a slave, they don't give a fuck about you. They gonna work your ass. And guess what? Majority of Judite and Benjaminite men died by the age of, what was it, 23? I'm 24. I would have been dead. If we was in slavery right now and I was 24 years old, I would have been a statistic of death. If I would have even made it past 23, how the fuck he make it? Work this nigga till he die next year or next month or next week. We don't give a fuck about him. We just call 3 more. That's the harsh reality of slavery. So how can y'all be cool with these crackers out here? I'll take that back. The scripture do say, if possible, if it be within you, be at peace with all men. Well, quit being fucking Uncle Tums out here and submitting to these goddamn crackers in every ordinance of life. All right. Verse 51. And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle in the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed, right? Because we work for Esau. He didn't work for us. We grow his shit. We didn't reap that. We built his houses. It wasn't for us. We did everything for him. Slaves. Still doing it to this day. Figure it out. And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed. See that? Destroyed. So let's get another precept. Oh, wait. Let me finish that out. Which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of thy kind or flocks, or thy sheep, until we have destroyed thee. Right. Because that's starting with Esau. That's these other nations' outright mission. They don't give a fuck about Israelites. They know who we are. These head elites, they know who we are. They know who the Israelites is. And they know we waking the fuck up. All right. Psalms 83:1. Keep thou now silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. See how King David said, or it was Asaph, King Asaph, the Psalm of Asaph. See how King Asaph said, thy enemies, proving what? Let me read it again. Verse 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, which means a loud noise, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. If King Esau said that they was the Lord's enemies, then he identified them. How much more our enemies? So why y'all fucking with them? All right? Use them. Use the world, don't abuse the world. But stop trying to be a fucking Edomite. And fucking Northern Kingdom got that shit super bad. I'm talking about, like today at my job, a dude came in. His last name was like Gutierrez or Mendoza. I'm like, okay, he is correct. And he started talking and he had flavor and everything. He was on crutches and making jokes. But the whole time he was just talking like a whole Edomite. Yeah, man, you know, I was walking down the stairs and kind of had my dresser and broke my leg and tore my ACL. And damn, man, now I'm here. And I'm like, bro, you a whole Edomite outside, but you a whole Israelite on the inside. So, hey, verse 3, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. Let's put a couple names out. First, the tabernacles of Edom, you white, you Caucasians, and the Ishmaelites, Saudi Arabian, them motherfuckers, of Moab, you Chinese motherfuckers, and the Hagarenes, Gabal, Ammon, Japanese, Amalek, small hats, the Philistines, them dirty Africans. All right, so we keep going. You know what I'm saying? It's pointing out our direct enemies right here, right now. So quit. So stop trying to be with them, be like them, and be a part of them. You an Israelite. But it's a 1/3 and a 2/3, so we only calling up the elect anyways. Let's read a couple more paragraphs. Let's read a little bit more from this book. It says, it leads to the heart of a people. The more a foreigner knows about the language of another country, the more he is able to move through all levels of that society. That's exactly what Esau did to us. He said, oh shit, these are chosen people of God? And they got the holy tongue? Oh, no. We can't. Look, we gonna learn that shit. We ain't teaching them none of that shit. Because it's gonna fall back on our head. But the prophecies already had it to where, guess what? Knowledge shall be increased in the last days. Daniel chapter 12. So guess what? We getting all that knowledge back. 2nd Ezra 69. Jacob is about to have that new kingdom ushered into him, nigga. Yasharallah, Yaiquab, to supplant. All right. It says, okay, I'm gonna stop the reading right there, and I'm gonna go to the next precept. Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 8. Zephaniah 3 and 8. Because yeah, that's really the point I wanted in the book. So I'm gonna get his last precept and it'll be finished. Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 8. It says, therefore, wait ye upon me, saith the Lord. He didn't say wait upon the world. He said wait upon me. It says, until the day that I rise up to the prey, for my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble all the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger. That's why Joel chapter 3 tells you all the nations going to gather where? In the valley of Jehoshaphat, Yahushaphat in the Hebrew. See why they don't want us having the Hebrew tongue and knowing these words and terms? Because we get ultra connected to our power, all right? That's what it's all about. Keeping Israel away from their power. That's what it's really all about. And Esau know that too. So that's why he don't want us to be out here, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua Barakatham, Habakayar, Call Halal, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. He don't want none of that. Guess what, nigga? We on your ass, nigga, because that's what we here to do. We're going to keep doing it. It says, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. And that's specifically talking about America and Israel. The whole earth is going to get hit. That's why it's going to have to be replenished. But America is going to get totally destroyed and never be inhabited again. Let's give 7 claps for that. The completion of America. Let's do it. I can't wait to see that shit. Wish it was yesterday. Wish it was today. But we got to wait. You know, the scriptures say, he that endureth to the end, the same shall be saved. All right. Not he that just looking and hoping. All right. You got to endure. It's a fight. It's a marathon, not a race. Verse 9. For then will I turn to the people. Who is them people? Israelites. A pure language. Hebrew. Lashawan Qadash. Holy tongue. That they may call upon the name of the Lord. Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai. To serve him with one consent. So with that being said, we now have that name back. We now have that language back. And we're going to continue to be on Esau's ass and bring this shit out until the end of the world. It don't fucking matter. If we go first, or I go first, you go first, or the world go first, guess what? James 2:17, judge me by my faith. All right, well, faith without works is dead. So keep the works pushing and you will receive your reward in the end. With that, hope you brothers edified. Call halal Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah. Shalom. Remember, we on their ass. They don't want us to have this knowledge. Keep it pushing.